Hi, this is Judy Peterson from Peterson Travel Pros, and I am with Lori Campbell today, and she has good news for us. You and I can be forever young. Welcome, Lori.
Well, it's great to be here.
Lori is a visionary gerontologist. She is an author. She's written Awaken, Your Age Potential, a #1 bestseller on Amazon. She is a boutique consultant and speaker with dual expertise in wellness as well as biological and psychological vitality. She partners with people that want to be proactive about learning how to increase their age potential and health. Lori has a very good mission. Her mission is to keep us forever young biologically and psychologically. Healthy living from the inside out is her specialty. Lori works with people of all ages, but her passion is to reach the millennials and Gen Xers before disease sets in. Keeping healthy people healthy. Start young, stay young. Her website is www.agepotential.com. And today, Lori wants to reinforce that we are not victims of our genes or the aging process. First of all, when I think of gerontology, I think of older adults. Should we wait until we're 50 to worry about our health?
Absolutely not. And I'd like to take this time to actually decipher between a gerontologist and a geriatrician. A geriatrician is a physician who specifically works with older adults, usually in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. We as gerontologists study the aging process, which really happens over the entire lifespan, because aging begins the moment we're conceived, not when we're born, but when we're conceived. So therefore, it's very important to start early, and we kind of have this misnomer that aging doesn't start till really in the midlife. So I'd like to kind of debunk that myth and start earlier so that we can maintain our health. Matter of fact, there is an uptick of people who are interested in taking on this proactive and preventive approach. So it's really exciting.
Wonderful. Well, the other thing I think about is the trillions of dollars that people in the United States spend on health care every year, but we're one of the sickest nations. So what can you tell me about that?
Well, healthcare as we know it now is a very sick way of doing healthcare. And I believe there are 4 main reasons why that is. And that is because as we know it, in my opinion, we focus on disease management versus maintaining health and vitality. We focus on outward appearance versus inward vitality. We focus on chronological age versus biological and psychological vitality or age. And lastly, we focus on boomers, thinking that the aging process starts midlife and older, when aging is affecting us all in all generations.
Wow, that's a lot to think about. Well, I know that your message really is focused on biological and psychological health. Mm-hmm. Tell us what that really means.
Well, as gerontologists, we basically have 3 measures of aging. The first one is your chronological age. That's your age according to the calendar. That's non-pliable, fixed. The biological age is your age, your health state of your cells, your telomeres, your tissues, your organs. That's pliable. We can actually do things and have clinical testing to know our biological age, as well as our psychological age. That's our age according to how we feel about ourselves at every age and stage in life. And that's also very pliable. We can do something about it. So obviously, those are the areas that we want to pinpoint, areas that we have influence and control over. So in essence, or in a nutshell, Judy, what matters is the health state of your thoughts, emotions, and telomeres.
Well, that brings up another point. What's a telomere, and why should we be concerned about cell health?
You know what? That's the #1 question I get, and I'm so glad you asked it. And I brought a little visual to help you. Telomeres are the end caps of our DNA, which are in the cell. and they are likened to a shoelace, the end caps of a shoelace. So just like this end cap keeps this shoelace all together, working its proper function, our telomeres keep our DNA in proper health and working and regulating properly. But over time, as we age, as we neglect and abuse our bodies over time, our telomeres get shorter. And because of that, our genes actually start unraveling. What does that mean? That means that we become vulnerable to dis-ease or disease. And why is cell health so important? Because every major age-related disease starts in the cell through 4 main pathways: methylation, glycation, chronic stress, and inflammation. So cell health is so important. At one time, we used to think an early diagnosis would be in the organ, and that would be, we'd be relieved. We caught it early in the first stage. Can you imagine early detection now in the cells? Remember, cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs make organ systems. Wow, that's really early detection is in the cell. So that's why it's so important.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've noticed that on your website and social media, you have a tagline, and it says, "I'm growing biologically younger, and you can too. Ask me how." Share with us how you're doing that.
Well, matter of fact, I am growing biologically younger, and I have the clinical testing to prove it. And I first want to tell you that telomere length is the best available biomarker we have for overall health, risk of disease, and rate of aging over time. In other words, to get your rate of aging, you need to be testing over time, like 2 or 3 times, to see the pattern of rate of aging. But yes, so I'll just tell you a little bit about my process. So I tested, and I got a baseline test a few years ago, and that's what I really promote and advocate everyone does. Get a baseline test, and then I actually applied the evidence-based protocol that I came out with. It's all based on peer-reviewed research and retested, and guess what? I knocked off quite a few years biologically on my cell health. And what does that say? It doesn't say how long I'm going to live or what diseases or whatever, but what it's saying is my health, the health of my state of my cells are very healthy and getting healthier. I'm biologically younger than I am chronologically. That says a lot. And it's very empowering because we're not victims of our genes. We have influence and control.
Wonderful, wonderful. I want to hear more about this. Wow. Finally, what are some of the things that we can do to slow down the aging process?
Well, I would be here all night to help you with that, but there are many, many things that keep the cells and the rate of aging slower, but one thing that I may share with you, metabolically, we kind of hit the wall, so to speak, about 40. And so one of the things that our cells really, really take to, which really like, is interval training. So most people get stuck in a rut with working out. They do the same kind of thing. We're noticing in the research that as we incorporate intervals, spurts out, no matter what you're doing, walking, running, biking, anything, the interval training is very good for cell health and the rate of aging. And that's just one very small area.
Well, thank you, Lori.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you giving your presentation, but I know on March 26th, Lori will be at the Ridgedale Library at 6:30. This is in Minnetonka, Minnesota, and she'll be talking more about awakening your age potential. If you can't make it to the Minnetonka presentation, she'll also be doing a presentation on November 8th out of Charleston, South Carolina. So whether you come on March 26th or November 8th, Lori will be able to help you be forever young. Thank you for joining us. This is Judy Peterson from Peterson Travel Pros.